Social media owes the company Crayola an apology today after an offensive post appearing to have came from them stated that inappropriate comments were posted. Hello everyone, I'm Kevin Piland. Thank you for joining us today. Now, the reason why I brought that up was because in Easton, Pennsylvania, according to the Associated Press, Crayola, in fact, is also apologizing after hackers filled its Facebook page with off-color content. The Forks Township, Pennsylvania-based crayon and marker manufacturer regained control of the page late Sunday and removed the offending posts. Instead of burnt sienna and sterling blue, the page's 2.4 million followers saw cartoon crests and sophomoric sex jokes. Crayola tweeted earlier Sunday evening that it was aware of the hack and making every effort to stop the unauthorized posts. A few hours later, it had repaid its page to its usual family friendliness. Now, what I never even thought about was that they're also owned by the same people that own the Hallmark Channel as well as Hallmark Cards Company. If that was the case, why didn't anybody know about that back then? Well, that's because a lot of people didn't really care. Now, now to some local Abilene news today. The working relationship between the Abilene Police Department and local pawn shops has led to 5 arrests this month total. Now, the reason I brought that up also is because pawn shops have been known to receive stolen property on a daily basis, but yet they don't know that until after the fact, even if they ask someone to sign their name saying they own that property. But I want to ask you this. What if you bought stolen property and didn't even know it? Like from, say, a different pawn shop or from someone at a garage sale or something like that. You know, the reality is that can happen to almost anybody. When I worked at Subway, I worked with a guy named Dean. I'm not going to mention his last name, but he was a really great guy. He was on parole for unrelated incidences that cannot be talked about on my show, but he was arrested for inappropriate content on his computer. But that charge was later dropped, and to make the thing worse, he didn't even know that the computer was stolen to begin with because he bought it at a pawn shop. Unfortunately, the receipt was not good enough for the police because, unfortunately, pawn shops back then didn't really know or couldn't really tell the difference between stolen property and not. That's why pawn shops have decided that from now on, and everywhere you go, they're going to enter it into a database, which is what they've been doing for quite some time. And what those 5 arrests mean is they're making sure that it doesn't happen again. Because, you know, it can happen to anybody. It can even happen to the best of us. Now here's where it really gets interesting. Now, the only good thing about those 5 arrests is that there's a rewarding feeling involved. Because the person who owns the shop, the pawn shop here in Abilene, says that the most rewarding feeling is giving the victims their stolen property back. I just now realized it was actually the detective. I apologize. It was not the actual pawn shop owner. It was rather the detective that I was talking about. So I do apologize for that error, because I didn't notice it originally. You know, an honest mistake is one thing, but when someone starts stealing something and then bringing it to a pawn shop to sell or to pawn, it's just a whole different story. You know, an honest mistake will not get you in trouble. committing a crime will. I want to thank you for watching my show.